Welcome back to Operation Pixel. We're here on the second floor of what I've just called Motavia Mountain Cave. We just got here. My map is perfect. There's no problems at all with it. Probably. I hope. So we're gonna just get right into this here. I was thinking, because I took a break between episodes, I do that a lot in this series, that if I ever have to play a game like this where I have to draw a map again, I feel like it'd be fun to like take a note from those hold on, those sort of drawing channels you can find on YouTube, and just have like a camera sitting over the sketch pad of the map so people can watch it being drawn, because that way, at least in those parts where I spend a long time looking at maps and notes, people can sort of see what's going on there. Because that'd be kind of amusing. I'm not sure how to set that up, though. Obviously, I'd have to have some sort of rig to hold the camera, and the syncing with the footage might be an issue. But, could be amusing. It's probably better than just looking at the cool Sega graphics here, while I sit here and mumble about, like, yeah, stupid, friggin' screwed up my map again. Oh, come on. Just 2 whites. I should be able to kill those pretty quick, like. Man, they always go for Noah. Every time. And then I just recalled that I don't know if Noah has a shield or if she could use one. I'll have to double check that between episodes. Because if she doesn't have one and can use one, then I'm an idiot. Alright. It's a nice little dead end back here. Let's trap check it so we don't blow up and have to come all the way back. Ooh, a burger. That's actually probably better than most of the freaking... Like, I know 100 cash is gonna buy me, like, 2 burgers, but I almost feel like a burger's better treasure than finding 100 Mazetta. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Ark and I have had several discussions through the show's history, discussing the possibility of whipping out something like a webcam. Because, you know, it's fairly popular for some channels. My argument has always been that, first of all, I think it's most helpful if you're a handsome person. Like, if you're an attractive person, then people want to see your face. But being attractive is subjective, and I don't consider myself as an attractive person. And I don't want to comment on Ark. I don't know if that's more insulting or less. And I feel like he's probably okay, but I think mostly we're just a couple of average dudes. And I don't think adding our faces onto the episodes is going to add anything to the quality of our content. Because we don't really do a lot of, like, you know, physical comedy while we're freaking playing video games. So it's not like we'd be all that interesting to look at, I think. In either activity sense or attractive sense. So, you know, the other thing too, of course, as I mentioned already, the syncing issue. To those who want to sort of look behind the curtain into the technical side of things. Editing is kind of annoying. I don't particularly enjoy doing it. I know how to do it, but I mostly do it because if I didn't do it, no one would. So, yeah, so the thing is that, like, I actually have currently set up, I'm using a recording program called OBS, which is free. I've probably mentioned that several times before. Oh, these are battalions. I should have just run away. It's gonna take a while. But yeah, OBS is cool because it's free, and it works with my recording device, which is a POG. It's like I think an HD PVR2 or something like that. If anyone else is looking into getting something like that, I would recommend being careful, because the newer ones like only have HDMI inputs, because I guess they assume that people are only recording new systems. But people like Ark and I really like doing these old games. And this one's for 360. My 360 actually doesn't have an HDMI output, because my 360 is really old school. It's before they started coming with HDMI outputs. I didn't even know they did that until we found out mine didn't have one. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, so I had to get this one. I think they had a newer one. But we decided not to get that. Oh, cool, there was a trap. It's empty. But we decided not to get that one because it didn't have the ability to use. God, I can't remember what the names are off the top of my head. I think it's like an RCA cable. So it's also known as a composite cable. It's got the yellow, the red, and the blue. That's right, isn't it? No, it's yellow, red, and white. And you use it for basically everything from before the Xbox 360 and PS3. Uses some sort of composite cable. That being the case, 1, 2, 3, we would be completely unable to do anything from like GameCube, PS2, original Xbox, going back even to N64, NES, Sega, Genesis. You know, all these things would just be impossible. So yeah, that was a big concern of mine when I got this thing, because I wanted to play all those old school games. Because I feel like the new games are still fun from time to time, but you know, as small as our channel is, we are completely incapable of competing with, you know, big channels like Game Grumps and them, like in any terms, really. But primarily if we're running the same games they are. Especially, you know, like one of the first games we ran on the show, actually the very first game we actually aired on the show here, was Xenoblade Chronicles X, because that had pretty much just come out. And, you know, if you did a search for it on YouTube, you found like 2 pages of other people doing the same series. And these weren't even big channels doing it, it was just like other channels of all sizes. And I don't think ours even showed up, like, easily on the search results. You had to dig for ours. And, we don't have our branding all figured out yet, so we don't have, like, you know, fancy thumbnails or anything. And of course nobody's heard of us. So really, pretty much nobody outside of, like, our friends watched any of that. But then we realized also that if we played older games, there's not a lot of competition there. Very few channels are actually running older games, unless it's like a speedrunner working on his newest attempt at the speedrun. And then you've got stuff like, Game Grumps is all over the place, they're cool. But the fact is that just like most channels on YouTube don't do old games. Certainly not lesser known ones. And certainly not to like, you know, a serious delve into them. So yeah, I'd like to play more of these kind of old games, because like, I think this is fun anyways. Like, again, you know, the new games are fine, there's some cool stuff coming out, but yeah, you know, you just... these old games, man. I mentioned in an earlier episode, I think, but, like, a lot of these games really defined... Oh, whoops, I meant to open that one, because there was 4 of those guys, and they were pretty beefy, so they probably had a lot of money. But yeah. Sorry if my conversation is not perfect. You do 47 episodes of something, and I feel like I've gotten better, probably, at solo managing a show. Hold on, how many spaces was that? 1, 2, 3. But you know, it's freaking hard to come up with conversation topics if you don't have someone to bounce ideas off of. And I've already made fun of all these enemies. I mean, like, this guy's still purple. Huh, what's up with that? So freaking purple. What a weirdo. And I know for a fact that I've already mentioned a lot of my ideology concerning old games. But yeah, I think it'd be fun just to get sort of a, almost like a museum kind of thing here on Operation Pixel. So it's like, all these interesting old games are documented in a, you know, solid playthrough on YouTube for future generations. And also for people, you know, who grew up with these games. Because, you know, I'm sure there's someone out there who, like, this game could have been their childhood. You know what I mean? Oops. And maybe they can't play it anymore. So maybe they lost their copy, maybe their system stopped working. Maybe they just don't have the time. That was actually another thing. Come on. I don't want to fight 3 of these guys, they take too long. But yeah, you know, sometimes you just don't have time to play games. And, you know, while I don't think anyone's likely to watch mine, because I'm sure there's other playthroughs of this out there. I don't think, Phantasy Star is such an unheard of game that there aren't going to be other playthroughs of it. And there's probably going to be more interesting ones than our little channels. But, you know, if it has any value to anyone out there, I'm glad. That is the goal. Freaking investigating games and hopefully making it at least vaguely entertaining. I just wish I had something to talk about. That'd be nice. I was gonna say, if anyone has any conversation topics in mind, leave a comment below. Oops, I was gonna open this one. Okay, it's not trapped. Oh, but it did give me a flash. I don't want any more flashes. Can I just throw those out? 'Cause I think my inventory's, yeah, pretty much full. Yeah. Let's throw this other one. Oops. Do I have any more flashes? Nope. Not a lot of room left, but we'll see how long that lasts. I don't find that many items. Alright, so we went 1... Dang it! This is like guaranteed combat in that space? Okay, we can kill this guy real quick. Oh yeah, I was joking about leaving a comment for conversation topics. Okay, well that time wasn't in combat, but then one more space down. Jeez. But yeah, honestly speaking, if anyone leaves a comment, it is probably gonna be like probably 4 or 5 episodes before I'll have recorded before I see it. And man, I lost count because all these enemies. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I thought. That's longer than most of these other square rooms I've been in, which is why I was curious. Ah, piece of crap. Right, I was talking about conversation topics. The other thing too is that that's the optimal case of that. You know, I recorded these and then someone comments and then I noticed the comment and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll bring that up in my next episode that I record. But... yeah, seems right. Oops, not that. Oops. I'm saying do a lot today. I don't know what's up with that. Anyone else have those weird verbal tics? You don't know where it came from, because you don't normally do that. But yeah. I know I say but yeah a lot. Or but yeah. It's my usual sort of like, let's carry on. Like, to the next thing. I've also mentioned that, and this was funny to me, but, my favorite phrase, apparently, without even knowing it, for frustration was, "Oh, come on." We played Diablo 2 some time ago, me and a friend of mine, TJ. You can check that out here on the channel. And we got to the secret level, Uber Tristram. And... A and B. Okay. Just labeling my staircases. We got to that last level there. And... I'm gonna have to count this to make sure I can fit the next map here. The next floor map. But yeah. I did a quick montage, because we got our butts kicked the first time we went in there. We just got destroyed. And so, in the montage, though, I saw myself saying, like, "Oh, come on!" Like, 15 times, because I kept dying, and every time I died, that was my response to it. Which was kind of surprising. Because I didn't... It's always weird when someone points out to you, or you find out, you're like, "Oh, wow, I sure say that a lot. I didn't even realize." Okay, so, just for the sake of not wasting a lot of time here, I'm gonna cut the episode here. We're gonna come back next time for the third floor, and I'll make sure I have room for it on this page of map so I don't waste time during the episode counting and drawing that. So, we'll come back next time and I'll be all set for exploring the third floor.